Back to Scoreline. My name is Robinson Okenyan studio. I'm with Cedric Nsumba and Simon Kowino. And it's all about the finals of UEFA EURO 2024. Spain taking on England at the Olympia Stadium in Berlin. We are dissecting what to expect tonight at 10 p.m. when the two giants collide. And the first part of the show, we are taking a look at what to expect from Spain. Now we want to shift gears. We get to the Three Lions of England. Yes, they are in the finals. 2020 UEFA Euro 2020, they were in the finals. They lost to Italy in a penalty shootout. But they are hoping that tonight they can rewrite the wrongs they did in 2020. We want to get into the players that we expect to shine. And we begin with the captain, Cedric, Harry Kane. Everybody's looking at him. He has not been scoring goals this tournament the way we expected. So far, he has 2 goals. But will he make a difference tonight?
He gives in, as in he brings in the leadership quality that any given team would like. And I like actually how he absorbs in pressure. Because at some level, England, when he was being actually criticized right, left, center, you will see him taking the mantle and carrying all the blame on his shoulders. And it literally tells you that he's just there equally rightfully to shield off that pressure from the rest of the team and allow the other players actually to relax and play for the team.
Yes.
And him being a captain for that particular team, with all the massive quality that he brings in, may it be at the club level, may it be from the experience as a master from the last Euro, World Cup and what have you, does not really necessarily bring him down simply because he has not been scoring in this particular play. He knows what it calls for tournament. Sometimes a tournament can be harder to you, sometimes a tournament can open up to you, depending on how the permutation of that particular tournament is presenting. But you still need him because he's so clinical at any given level. Find him in front of goal, he'll give you a goal.
He also drops to help in midfield.
Yeah, you find him on set pieces also, is equally good. So it's a kind of a player that you cannot literally miss out from that particular equation if you want to get goals. And sometimes also you can use him as a tactic. We saw him in semi-finals, how Southgate actually deployed him. Bring him, let him actually tie down the opponents, and then later, or maybe the dying whiz minutes of the day, bring in Watkins. When you bring in somebody with different permutation, where the team before it settles to know how that particular person plays, you get killed. And you can use him in so very many angles, and he brings in all these other values that any other coach will really literally want to have in a team. And that's what the beauty of having Harry Kane in this particular team. I think him being present, only present even if he doesn't touch the ball, all English players are happy.
Yes, there's one man in this tournament that people have not talked so much about him, but he is a danger to the opponents. Simon, Bukayo Saka.
Club allegiance,
You're an Arsenal fan. That's why I've asked you about Saka.
Yeah, I think this is England's most important player. Many people won't agree with me, but he is England's most important player because when you look at it, when things go south for England,
yes,
Southgate never substitute him, and he always.
We've actually seen him in a game play three different positions.
Exactly, that tells you how important he is for this England national team because in that game. He started as a right winger. He dropped to left back when Palmer was brought in. Then he shifted to right wing back, and he still made an impact in that match. He scored that crucial goal that England needed to go to extra time versus Switzerland. You understand? Then Kane scored in the extra time. They won in penalties.
What danger will he pose tonight?
Saka is one player that he's a big game player. He is a big game player. He steps up. He doesn't shy away from critics or anything. He just takes the game by his straps. So when Saka goes to this match, he's one player you can never write off. When he picks the ball, he directly wants to face the defender without caring who is the defender. Whether you are Virgil van Dijk, whether you are Carlos Puyol, whoever you are. So
people also forget that he's really young.
Yes, he's really young. He's 22 years. So one thing I love about Saka is when he picks the ball, he knows what he wants to do with the ball. He either wants to score or wants to assist. His outswing crosses are equally dangerous. When he picks players like Bellingham who are so good in the box, you saw the first match when Walker gave him the ball. He didn't care what to do with the ball twice. He knew what he had to do. The assignment was one: get in the cross. Someone will find that ball. So I love that Saka is really proving his critics wrong.
Yes.
It will be so unfortunate if they lose this final against my Spanish team, but if they win it,
Cedric is looking at you wondering.
It will be so unfortunate for him, because yes. I know, you know how the English media sometimes it's, Saka will be branded as the face of failure probably, and all those other players. But he's that good that he can define what happens in this final. He can either score or assist. And you will see, when things get tight, Southgate would rather substitute Kane, but Saka will stay in that field until the very final minute.
Cedric, you spoke passionately about Rodri, but on this English side, they also have an equal, Declan Rice. What are you expecting from him?
Go by the statistics. The current statistics actually gives him a competitive edge against Rodri. Yes. But that's not actually a case sample, because Rodri has got all other values that we have associated him with. If you go by Declan Rice being a player, we know what he can do. And as Marco will say here, tracing his path back to the club level, he does so much well in the club, which is a quite different permutation if it comes to the national team. He also has an experience, and must experience. Remember, they played against Calvin Phillips yes. In that particular space, and they did very well. May it be at World Cup, may it be at last Euro, they were together. But currently, they are presenting a different kind of pair. Remember, Calvin Phillips is not in. He's trading alongside a very young
19-year-old Kobbie
Mainoo.
Yes.
And it brings in different dimension. It also makes him actually rethink on how to settle down in the particular pitch, which means in most cases we haven't seen him offensively going forward. Unlike before, we could see him even shooting outside the box. We could see him advancing his agenda, trying to look for goals. But throughout the tournament, currently we haven't seen Declan Rice who is advancing. He has been so much cautious, trading just behind the goal, trying to provide that the defensive work rate that is needed around there, and trying to collect those balls and supply to the offensive midfielder, as opposed to him carrying those balls and advancing the agenda, trying to look for goals. That kind of cagey and cautiousness is what actually presents a question mark, according to me, to him. Because right now, he will be playing among the bouquet of guys who knows how to keep the ball, guys who knows how to carry the ball, guys who knows how to present the ball where it requires to. And if you keep yourself so much cautious onto your goal, you are inviting problem. And if you invite so much problem towards your goal, ask me what will be happening. You will be actually looking forward to seeing goals behind your nets. That's not the kind of defensive midfielders we need. We need a Declan Rice who will be pushing that offense as in opposing line away from the goal, so that Pickford can start breathing and maybe commanding the defensive line.
You spoke about Kobbie Mainoo and Kowino. I want your input on this. He's just shown that age is just a number. 19 years, slotting in at the heart of midfield and still pulling strings for the Three Lions.
What I love about these boys is composure.
Yes.
When you are a midfielder, you need a lot of composure. And when I look at Kobbie Mainoo play, even at Manchester United, I give him credit for that, because just like Cedric had said, said that when maybe someone gets injured like Pedri did,
yes.
The player that they bring in, you're supposed to step up. When Casemiro got injured, Manchester United brought him in and he stepped up. He just showed the world that I can take this mantle. I can do as good as he can.
Yes.
So Kobbie Mainoo coming into this team, the first few matches, Southgate, and this is why as much as I'm supporting Spain, yes. Southgate this tournament, he has been trying to get things right, and they have probably been working for him. When he played Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield, I think I even told you yes. that is a mistake and it's going to kill him.
Yes.
He realized that and changed it immediately. He tried Gallagher there. Gallagher was not working the way he wanted. Then he brought in Kobbie Mainoo. And you see the compactness that he brings to the team alongside Declan Rice. They are so comfortable on the ball, except for that cautious, the way they play cautiously, like Cedric has said.
Yes.
But when you look at the way he can even get outside those tight spaces with the ball. And that really brings something important in that English team. Now he needs to start advancing, either to try to create chances, because now that is what the English team will need tonight. If you just play cautiously, you are probably going to lose against the Spain team.
Yes, Cedric, now that Simon said he's an Arsenal fan, now that you're a Real Madrid fan, what are you expecting from Jude Bellingham?
Of course, this is a quality. And you see, there is a time, I think, on the same space, not necessarily the same space, but the same avenue.
Yes.
I remember talking so much about KDB. At that particular time, actually, he was a prime player in the midfield. this another angle that I can say Declan Rice is presenting in the quality that KDB used to enjoy at that particular time. Is a player who does not fear anyone. Is a quality that actually raised to occasion when you need it to come. And we have seen it even in this particular tournament when the English was actually really not quite sure if they will proceed. He raised to occasion and gave them a killer goal that stretched the game to penalties. And it tells you a kind of a player who actually has come of age and he knows when he's required and what is required from him to do.
Yes.
And if you go by Jude Bellingham, I might say that he can even take the role of combine Kobe Mainoo and Declan Rice into a one circle and present it very well. Because I see him falling back. At some point, I think Mancini say that he can't be compared to Toni Kroos because of him. He's not a kind of a guy who can really bring diagonal crosses.
Yes.
He like actually playing just behind the opponent D area. But I've seen in England him falling even back. He's all over. He trying to go back, collect those balls, bring those balls where it's required. Sometimes he advances to an agenda and try to look for those goals by himself. And that's a quality that England will be actually over-relying on. You dim this space. You dim the space of Declan, the space of Jude Bellingham. You are like killing the engine of England, that particular midfield, because no one will be able to transit the ball the same way he has been transiting them from defense to the offensive line.
Yes, another player that is equally lethal on offense, Simon, is Phil Foden. We saw what he can do when they played Netherlands in the semis.
Yeah. Actually, that is the very first game that I saw Phil Foden trying to turn up to that Foden we've seen at Manchester City. Because if you look at this entire tournament, Foden has been so absent. But versus the Dutch, I think the minutes he played, he deserved those minutes. There was even he was even scoring until Dumfries cleared from the goal line. Yeah, from the goal line. So Foden is a very good player, but there's something I've been seeing about players from Manchester City in this tournament. I don't know if I'm being biased or hard on them, but something makes me feel that they are system players. They are system players. Pep Guardiola has...
But Rodri has played well for Spain.
Rodri now, he's in a system where whatever he plays at club level is the same thing being played at national level.
Yes.
And he's equally just excellent. If you look at players like Foden, even KDB, as much as he was good for the Belgium, but they have been struggling in one way, probably because of the compactness they get at club level is very different, and the type of football they get here now. You don't train with these people for so much time before these competitions. So Foden has been good, but he has not unlocked that Manchester City Foden that we always see. So I don't know how impactful he'll be, because again, he doesn't play in the same position he plays at Manchester City, because in England national team, where usually play at Man City, Bellingham occupies that position.
Yes.
So Southgate has been trying to find a suitable position for him. Sometimes he's right wing, sometimes he's left wing. So he tries to free roam as much, but he can't free roam that much because now it will disorient the English attack. So I expect him to be one of the standout players, but not that much because of the way English team are playing.
Yes. Cedric, Mark Gay, the Crystal Palace man, came into this tournament, quietly fit into the England system, and he's been so good in defense for them throughout the tournament.
True. I will agree with you, but and again, I've not been, regardless of whatever the credit has been getting, I've not seen so much value that I would like actually him given a chance to play for the national team.
Yes.
Literally simply because since he came into this national team, England has been playing with a back four, which is a defensive formation. If you ask me, England has not actually been deploying their usual back three. And we only see them playing the back three when he was not in, and that was in their semi-final. It literally tells you that he has been receiving so much support from the midfield. Because once you play the back four, it means the midfield would actually, any given time, providing the support that you really require. I would and again see him racing to occasion, like to see him racing to occasion maybe tonight, if England take that risk and deploy their usual back three, which means they will be out to attack Spain, which is not maybe what may be the case. But if you go by how they are really, if they bring in the likes of Luke Shaw, it literally still tells me they might go back to their back four, which is a very cautious defensive kind of formation. That necessarily tells you that the centre back we won't be able to get the credit that we really need to get from the centre back. Or the centre back, if you pair the centre back at a 4, and then at the advances the same defensive line of the defensive midfielder, then the centre back actually becomes ceremonials. Any given time, the ball that will be landing to them is a bullet that has already been taken care of by the defensive midfield. That is not the guy that I would want to see. I want to see the guy who operates in a back 3, the guy who receives all these dangers from the opponent. Open up him, let him actually trade and bring the value that he really hired for the national team. That's when I will start talking of him being the best defender.
Now that we're still talking about the English defense, John Stones has also played all the matches for England at the UEFA EURO 2024. What value does he bring?
I think he's the most valuable centre back in that English team in terms of experience.
Now that Maguire is not there.
Probably.
Yes.
But he's so comfortable on the ball.
Yes.
I love the work that Pep Guardiola has done to John Stones, because if you look at him at club level, and Stones was always a good defender, even from his days at Everton. Probably people never used to look at it in that way because he was playing for Everton, but he was always a decent defender. Coming into this English team, he has made that defense feel so comfortable, because people like Gay, Cedric just said, I've not seen that much impact of Gay as well. But the fact that he's playing alongside someone like Stones, it gives you that confidence, because you're playing alongside someone who is experienced, who can tell you, now you have to go tackle that one, like the way Van Dijk does to his centre-back partnerships. So I think Stones, what he has brought to this team has made the English team feel so comfortable, because even coming into this tournament, someone like Luke Shaw was injured. They had to call Luke Shaw to this team because they had no outright left back. And that is why someone like Trippier has been playing as a left wing back. So I think Stones being there provides another rock for England that probably Spain will have to find codes to crack.
Cedric, Southgate, the English manager, Gareth Southgate, could you say that his tenure as the England national team head coach has been a success if he wins tonight?
Probably, because he will actually have given England what they have been yearning for. And if you go before we delve deep into this conversation, you realize even tonight,
yes,
I think Britain or England, they are so quiet. They are not so all over like the Euro, simply because maybe they are not quite sure the nervousness that has been really cultivated into their hearts. That is that the only person who will give them the talking points, the only person who will make them come out of that coldness will be the Southgate. And the result the Southgate is going to give them maybe tonight will make them to be all over, to occupy all the other social media spaces as we have associated them with. But if you go by how he is, even him, he wasn't first quite sure if he will reach where he is currently. Because at some point he had actually given us a glimpse of, if he doesn't make it to England winning this tournament, he will again tender in a resignation. That means he wasn't quite sure if England will reach where it is. And now, right now that he's in, even English themselves who have been criticizing him, they have started giving him a nod and a notch higher. But he's quite sure the team he's going to face is not a pushover. And it's not a kind of a team that you can just go and say, give us my results and go. It's a team that they need to work themselves out and find those spaces that will give them the results. But what they are looking for, and even him, what he would like more, remember his 1986 demises. Since coming in as a coach, everyone has been expecting to bring back the England of 1986 finalists, but not necessarily to go up to final and then bolt out. You need now to go to final and maybe happen it will win for you.
Yes.
That will have erased the errors and the goals of the penalties that actually keeps on coming wherever he loses a match at this particular magnitude.
So, how do we expect these two sides to line up tonight? Let's begin with the three Lions of England. Of course, Jordan Pickford is expected to begin in between the sticks, and then you have Gay, Stones, and Kyle Walker. You have Trippier, most likely might get the nod ahead of Luke Shaw, and then you have Declan Rice, Mainoo, Bukayo, Saka, Phil Foden, Bellingham, and Harry Kane. Briefly, Simon, any changes that you expect? Briefly.
I think Luke Shaw might start ahead of Trippier today.
Ahead of Trippier.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the Spanish side, how we expect them to line up tonight. Of course, Unai Simon in between the sticks. Then you have Caval, Lenormand, Laporte, Cucurella in midfield, Rodri, Ruiz, Olmo, attack, Yamal, Morata, Williams. Any changes you expect, Cedric?
I don't see any changes in this particular. This is a team that has been winning them. In fact, they lost out Carvajal in semi-final. He's now back. They are quite happy. And even if you go by the formation, this has been their formation. I literally am opposing for guys who actually have been always against the back four in any given time, because we have seen Spain playing back four and they're presenting a very beautiful soccer. But and again, the danger will be because they are facing a back three England, which means England actually will be there to overload the midfield. And when they overload the midfield, the competition will be actually be surrounded at the midfield. Now Spain need to look at that creativity of breaking that wall that England will be forming at the midfield.
Yes, those are the two predicted lineups for tonight. But we've come to that time where we get to predictions. Who's winning this and by how many? Simon.
I believe Spain will win this match.
How many goals?
2 goals to 1.
2 goals to 1. Cedric.
Spain, 3-1.
3-1.
Yes.
No penalties today.
No penalties.
Well, the predictions are from the gentleman in the studio are that Spain will carry the day. I know the 3 Lions. We'll have to wait and see how that will happen. Thank you very much, Cedric Musumba and Simon Wino, for coming in and dissecting what to expect in the UEFA Euro 2024 final that will be taking place tonight at 10 p.m. Spain taking